So new-ish music. So we're gonna talk about one album that just came out, but then we also gonna talk about an album that's been out for a couple weeks now, and it lives up to the hype. It lives up to the hype. So Cardi B, her latest album, her newest album, second album, they sophomore album, which this is it's probably the longest hiatus I've ever seen for somebody go from their first to their second. However, other than people that only have one album and just are still dormant. But for a artist that is out there, current, that we've heard since her debut, we've heard her name out there. This is probably like the longest delay I've ever seen, which was 7 years. But Cardi B's album is called "Am I the Drama," and it's actually very enjoyable. It's a really good album. This album was way long overdue, as I already said. But this is like one of those albums. Like if you're with your lady, the Cardi B album is like still very palatable for the lady, but it also kind of appeals to men as well. That I think that's one of Cardi's like greatest strengths is as a female artist, she truly makes like this like unisex music, right? Like this music that can be played comfortably and loudly and proudly by whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like it's she's a woman, right? So it's very relatable to women, like in terms of like the content, in terms of it's relatable, like it's what she's talking about, and like maybe like the words that she's choosing to use. You know what I mean, the actual lyrics, like they very relatable to women. But then like her cadence and delivery is kind of like it's masculine enough for a man to enjoy as well. Like so, like because here's the thing. I think men, I think, and I'm making generalization here. I think men understand that Nicki was nice. I don't think a lot of men was listening to like a lot of Nicki's albums. There are some guys that just listen to everything hip hop, whatever. But like outside of a single, I mean, or feature, I was not checking like Nicki Minaj's albums. You know what I mean? But I've listened to both of Cardi B's albums front to back. And like, yeah, she has a certain delivery about her that makes it like it's still hard. Like it sound hard, you know what I mean? And but it has that like softness as well to where if you're riding in a car with your girl and you want to listen to some rap, right? Like it's still like she not gonna necessarily want you to turn the song, whatever, because again, it's that relatability to Cardi. Um, this album has great variety. Like this album, it's not. I would say it's long. It's a longer album. It's 70 minutes overall, which that's like old school. Remember, old school on a CD, you could get only get 80 minutes. Some of these albums these days be like 90 minutes. I mean, they be going over that. Chris Brown. Chris Brown is good to give you like 2 hours. You know what I mean, but like this was relatively longer album, 23 tracks. But I gotta say that like she hits so many different pockets of sounds, right? Like she hits like she got some Spanish flavor music. She got pop music on there. She got a lot of different she got like some of the, you know, gangster stuff. She got some of the ratchet chick stuff. Like she has like a wide variety, and she's gonna be able to kind of get into different rooms and perform these songs in different places. You know what? I ain't gonna lie, like Bad Bunny is the performer. Yeah, I mean, like, and I know she don't have like the longevity in terms of like catalog, but like Cardi B could perform at the Super Bowl for real, and she would kill that shit. I mean, like, I no bullshit. And here's the thing: I know I criticized Cardi B on some personal level stuff, and on one of my videos that I posted, I definitely got some comments where women were mad, but it's like, bro, you criticize the people that you like actually care about. Like, I don't come on here and talk about people that I hate. Um, and it just with the topic of it, she is in a messy. I think she is in a messy situation. Whether you agree with that opinion or not, the fact that she's pregnant to a new man and she's still kind of married, like that's messy. But she addresses a lot of the relationship stuff. On the album, she disses her ex-husband, or she disses Offset on some tracks, but then she also has some more introspective tracks where she's like kind of getting into like why they didn't work. Now, some of that is a little bit too personal for me, but yeah, it definitely is provocative and it gets people going. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so she definitely a good album, definitely a lot of variety. It's weird though. You can kind of tell, and I don't have any tracks off the top of my head, but like you can kind of tell the tracks that she's written, and you could tell the tracks that like have probably been written for her. Like I feel like if it's too many like multi-syllabic words in there, she probably didn't write it, right? But then you could tell some of the cadence and the delivery of some things. It's like, oh, this is something that like is probably in her wheelhouse. So we know that she has writers. That's not used to be a criticism, whatever. But like you could kind of hear it in the music. Overall, I was probably like an 8 out of 10 for like you know what I mean. Like it has a lot of replay value. If I had to pick tracks that I like, of course I like Safe. I know that is like a safe pick and that is a single right now. But Kalani's killing shit. And it's a good song. That's a good song. Dead, the Jones Summer Walker's good. I like that Bodega Baddie for like I like Imaginary Players. I like that Better Than You with Catch Cobain. You know what I mean? There's a lot on there though. There's a lot of catchy things on there, but like yeah, it's definitely a solid album. It's something I would go back to for sure. I mean, and then another album that dropped was Miguel. Miguel dropped today. And his new album, I believe, is called Chaos. And this album is his first official album since 2017. If I had to look at if I go to his discography though, yeah, War and Leisure was his last actual album in 2017. So War and Leisure had songs like Skywalker, yeah, Skywalker, Banana Clip, if you remember that joint. He might have dropped the EP here and there or so. Um, Miguel I think he's an amazing artist. I think he's up there. Like he's one of the, in terms of like this generation. Um, because his first album came out 15 years ago. All I Want Is You, and he doesn't have the output of like somebody that you would call like the greatest of all time or something like that. But I would say though his quality of his music is overall it's good. It's really good most of the time. Good to great most of the time. So this album, I only heard it one time at the gym. So I mean, there was a standout track for me that I really liked. It was called New Martyrs, Ride for You. But this album has a lot of like, there's a couple tracks that have like Spanish singing on there, like he has Spanish lyrics on there. Definitely a smooth album, but it's a quick album. It's only 36 minutes, 12 tracks, 36 minutes. Definitely something that you can get through. Something that I played in the gym, but it's something that like, I'm gonna probably dig into more. So like check that out. But like in terms of new music, that's like the latest that I have that I know about. But good to see Miguel dropping something, man. First time since 2017. So almost as long as Cardi B took to drop her last album. But we knew who Miguel was, and we knew what his status and stature was in the game. Again, his output could be a little bit better in terms of like the amount of albums, but always puts out good work. And definitely I'll check that out. That new album, Chaos by Miguel. All right, let's switch it up here. Let's switch it up. All right, we gotta backtrack. We gotta go back to that show that I talked about last week, Wayward. So I finished. So this was unintentional, but while I was watching it, because I'm enjoying the show and I'm into it and I want to see the end, right? I'm like, I gotta get to this last episode. It's only 8 episodes, limited series. Like, I gotta get to the end. So you know how we be saying like Google be listening to us, right? And that's how you feel. Well, if you are on Reddit at all, like, and I have a login to Reddit. I don't even have like no username. I don't know on Reddit. Is everybody's name fake on Reddit? Like, do they do that on purpose, or do people actually have profiles? Because, like, I remember I made a login. like with my email. And then if I post something, it says like Frosty something. And it's like some it looked like the fakest name ever. Like, is that intentional or do like people have followings on Reddit? Anyway, so if you are on Reddit, it feels like sometimes the things that you're watching, the things that you're listening to, it feels like they understand and they know what's going on, and then they send you suggestions and they send you things. So what happened was I'm watching the show, and then I seen this like Reddit like notification, and it was talking about Wayward. Like I didn't look for it or anything; it found me. And on the Reddit post, they were talking about like basically how the show doesn't hold up when it gets when you get to the end. Now, I didn't fully read it, but I did read a couple comments. I read a couple different things, and I was like, no, like I'm gonna watch it for myself. I'm not gonna let that deter me. Anything that I thought was like a true spoiler, anything that I thought was like really giving away or something that I didn't see at all, then I didn't look at it, but I did see some opinions and basically people saying like, yeah, the story kind of falls off. So I'm gonna give my final review, and I ain't gonna lie, the reviews are kind of right. So this show is has great promise, has great potential, right? It's we're on a high, we're moving, right? And then this show kind of falls hard off a cliff, um, and it's kind of sad. So the ending. So spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Wayward, maybe go see it, go watch it. It's crazy because these limited series, they're turning into the new movies. Because you know, a limited series is just supposed to be like one season, so it feels like a long movie. And movies have always felt empty to me because like when a movie is bad, it's like, bro, you feel like you wasted all your time. Most series are not bad. Like and they can't be bad if they have more than one, if they have more than, 2 to 3 seasons, then it must have been halfway decent because they were spending a lot of money to produce it week after week, episode by episode, especially the shows on network television that get 20 episode orders and stuff like that.